Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ. Greetings and welcome to our live broadcast coming to you from St. Peter's Square here in the Vatican. Thaddeus Jones here to provide narration of the Pope's midday Angelus prayer. He'll be leading the recitation of the Angelus as he customarily does on this day after Christmas, the feast of St. Stephen. Our television viewers there can see the square with the Christmas tree adorning it next to the obelisk and the nativity scene also in the square. The large television screens are viewable for everyone in the square, and so when our cameras pan there looking at the crowds in the square, people can see that they're on camera and of course smile and wave. It's been, of course, a busy time on Christmas Eve. Pope Leo XIV led the Christmas Mass at night in St. Peter's Basilica, with around 6,000 in the Basilica and 5,000 out in the square, whom he greeted before the Mass, wishing them well and thanking them for their presence, and saying he was sorry they couldn't gather in the Basilica, which didn't have room. And he appreciated their braving these past few days of light to moderate rain, quite a bit of rain. Today we have beautiful, sunny, cool weather. Then Pope Leo celebrated Mass in St. Peter's Basilica on Christmas Day, Christmas morning. And at 12 p.m. on Christmas Day, he gave the traditional Christmas message and blessing Urbi et Orbi to the city of Rome and to the world, imparting that special blessing there, which usually happens on Christmas and Easter from the central loggia of St. Peter's Basilica. Also happening here in the Eternal City yesterday, in the evening at 6 p.m., the first Holy Door, or the closing of the Holy Door, that is, of the Basilica of St. Mary Major, took place, one of the four papal basilicas here in Rome, as the Holy Year 2025 is drawing to a close. Our camera there is zooming in on that nativity scene, a gift of the diocese, the Italian diocese of Nocera Inferiore Sarno, the south of Italy. They developed this nativity scene. The Christmas tree in the square came from the diocese of Bolzano, Bressanone in northern Italy. Each year, from Italy or even parts of Europe, the Christmas tree or the nativity scene is offered, offering a unique perspective with local cultural aspects and dimensions to it. Tomorrow, Saturday, the closing of the Holy Door of the Basilica of St. John Lateran, the Cathedral of Rome, will take place. And the third papal basilica there, the Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls, the closing of that Holy Door will take place on Sunday. And the Holy Door of St. Peter's will be closed on the Epiphany, January 6th. Pope Leo yesterday in his message said, as the Jubilee year draws to a close and the Holy Doors prepare to shut, Christ, our hope, remains with us always. And he reminded the faithful that he is the door that is always open, who comes not to condemn, but to save. And here we have Pope Leo appearing at that window of the Apostolic Palace overlooking St. Peter's Square, from where he'll greet those below and offer these reflections first before leading the Angelus prayer. Dear brothers and sisters, a good day to you. Today is St. Stephen's birthday. As the first generations of Christians used to say, with the certainty that we are not born just once. Moreover, seeing with the eyes of faith is to see no longer mere darkness, even in death. For martyrdom is a birth into heaven, We do not choose to come into the world, but then we pass through many experiences in which we are asked to choose ever more intentionally to come to the light, to choose the light. The account in the Acts of the Apostles testifies that those who saw Stephen going to his martyrdom were struck by the light of his face and his words. It is written, "All who sat in the council looked intently at him, and they saw that his face was like the face of an angel." This is the face of one who does not leave history indifferently, but responds to it with love. Everything Stephen does and says represents the divine love that appeared in Jesus, the light that shines in our darkness. Dear friends, the birth of the Son of God among us calls us to live as children of God. He makes this possible by attracting us through the humility of people such as Mary, Joseph, and the shepherds, whom we encounter from that night in Bethlehem. Yet the beauty of Jesus and of those who imitate his life is also rejected. For from the beginning, his magnetic force has provoked the reaction of those who struggle for power, those who are exposed by their acts of injustice, because of a goodness that reveals the intentions of their hearts. To this day, however, no power can prevail over the work of God. Everywhere in the world, there are those who choose justice, even at great cost, those who put peace before their fears, and those who serve the poor instead of themselves. Hope then sprouts, and it makes sense to celebrate despite everything. In the current conditions of uncertainty and suffering in the world, joy might seem impossible. Today, those who believe in peace and have chosen the unarmed path of Jesus and the martyrs are often ridiculed, excluded from public discourse, and not infrequently accused of favoring adversaries and enemies. Christians, however, have no enemies, but brothers and sisters, who remain so even when they do not understand each other. The mystery of Christmas brings us a joy motivated by the tenacity of those who already live in fraternity, of those who already recognize around them, even in their adversaries, the indelible dignity of the daughters and sons of God. Like Jesus, Stephen died forgiving others because of a force more real than that of weapons. It is a gratuitous force already present in the hearts of all, and which is reawakened and shared in an irresistible way when we begin to look at our neighbor differently, offering them attention and recognition. Yes, this is what it means to be reborn, to come once again into the light. This is our Christmas. Let us now pray to Mary and contemplate her, blessed among all women, who give us life and counter arrogance with care and distrust with faith. May Mary bring us into her own joy, a joy that dissolves all fear and all threats, just as snow melts before the sun.
Angelus Domini nunciavit Mariae, et concepit de Spiritu Sancto. Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Et verbum caro factum est.
Et habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis Sancta Dei Genetrix.
Udini efficiamur promissionibus Christi.
Oremus. Gratiam tuam quesimus Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, ut qui angelo nunciante, Christi filii tui incarnationem coniovimus, per passionem eius et crucem, ad resurrectionis gloriam perducamur, per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio, nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio, nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio, nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Pro fidelibus defunctis. Requiem aeternam dona eis, Domine.
Et lux perpetua luceat eis.
Requiescant in pace.
Amen.
Dominus vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Es hoc nunc et usque in saeculum.
Adiutorium nostrum in nomine Domine.
Qui feci celum et terram.
Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen.
Pope Leo giving his apostolic blessing there to all those gathered and all of you listening and watching.
Cari fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters,
rinnovo di cuore gli auguri di pace
I renew from my heart
serenità nella
my best
luce
wishes for
del
peace
Natale del Signore.
and serenity in the
Saluto voi tutti, fedeli
for this
di
Christmas.
Roma e pellegrini venuti da
And I
tanti
greet all the pilgrims and Romans present here in the square.
Nel ricordo di Santo Stefano,
And in
primo
remembering
martire,
St. Stephen, first
confidiamo
martyr,
la sua intercessione
may we call on his
perché
intercession
renda forte la nostra fede,
to strengthen our faith
sostenga le comunità
and to
che
sustain
maggiormente
communities
soffrono per la loro
who are suffering,
testimonianza
especially for
cristiana.
their Christian
Il
witness.
suo esempio di
May his
mitezza,
example
di coraggio e di
of
perdono
gentleness, courage,
accompagni
and
quanti
forgiveness
si impegnano
accompany
nelle situazioni
all
di
those
conflitto
who are working in
per
situations of
promuovere
conflict
il dialogo,
in order to
la
promote
riconciliazione
dialogue,
e la
reconciliation,
pace.
and peace.
A tutti auguro una buona
To
festa.
all of you, I wish you a very happy feast. Merry Christmas. Pope Leo adding those words at the conclusion of this Angelus. I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and special thanks to our partner broadcasters, including EWTN Television in English, the Catholic Faith Network in America, Catholic Television, Atmadarshan Television, Shalom World Television, Salt and Light Television, Radio Maria England, and Luminous Radio India. Thank you all for joining us, and all of you watching via web, watching on demand later on. A blessed and happy and Merry Christmas to all of you. Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ.